What's up guys, it's Avery here. I don't like spending money nearly as much as you love smashing the like button on all of my videos. And many people want to become a millionaire, but many of those same people aren't willing to take any of the steps involved. And the first step to building your wealth would be saving money. And here are 5 ways that you can save more money today. So I just moved to North Carolina from Boston, and I noticed that things are actually not any less expensive, especially apples. And apples are something that I eat every day. And I'd really appreciate it, other than subscribing to Build Your Wealth, if you join my Patreon so that I can keep up that apple habit while helping you build your wealth every single day. Step number 1 to saving money would be skipping the gym membership. Some gym memberships can be extremely expensive, and you can do virtually all of that same stuff while at home and not even purchasing the equipment. You could do pull-ups on a tree, you could go for a run, you could do push-ups, squats, everything without any of the weights. And if you wanted to, you could buy some of those weights like I've done, but I'll have those for my entire life and never have to pay a monthly fee to use them. And even if you're going to Planet Fitness every single month, spending $10, and hopefully you're actually going and not like a majority of the people that sign up for Planet Fitness and never actually go, if you invested that $10 a month, it would equate to $32,000 over a 40-year period if you invested that money. And maybe you're someone who likes a little bit more of a fancy gym and you go to the Equinox and you just picked yourself up the Amex Platinum card so you could save an extra $300 a year on that $200 per month Equinox membership. And you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't go to Equinox anymore even though I just picked up that Amex Platinum card. And you invest that $200 per month. And that $200 per month over that same 40-year period would be $644,000. So think about what you're spending your money on, and if you actually need that gym membership, but instead save that money and then use it for investing so you can actually start building your wealth. The next thing that you could do would be making all of your food and all of your coffee at home. Now I know not everyone drinks coffee, but those who do seem to like to go to Starbucks and buy a really crappy cup of coffee for $4 to $5 every single day. Instead, I myself have bought a bunch of coffee equipment that will last many, many years and cost a whole lot less than going to Starbucks every single day. And I'll also get a nice cup of coffee in the morning that doesn't taste like crap. So those are 2 really positive things. Something else I do is I make sure that I make a majority of my meals at home. My weekly grocery bill is pretty much the same amount as going to a restaurant eating out for dinner 1 or 2 times a week. So it's really important to see if you can make a lot more meals at home so that you can save a lot of that money and put it towards better use. Another great thing about making all of your food at home, other than it not actually being that time consuming, because going to the restaurant, picking up food or eating out actually takes quite a bit of time. But other than that, you know exactly what is going into your meal. You know how much butter or how much salt or how much oil or how many bad things are actually going into that meal. So not only does it save you a lot of money to eat at home, and it's fun to cook and try new recipes, but it can be a lot healthier knowing exactly how much is going into your food. Another thing that you could do is make sure you don't buy or lease a brand new car. That will be the worst investment that you can ever make. A car will depreciate 60% in value in the first 5 years of ownership. So instead of buying that car and taking on that depreciation, you can make sure that you buy a car that is over 5 years old so someone else will have taken on that depreciation, because it'll take a lot longer for the rest of that 40% to depreciate of the original car's value. And now you can drive that car into the ground and make sure that it keeps working for you and you're not having an extremely expensive gas-guzzling car. And even better, you could rent that car out on Turo so that it could cover your gas costs, so that it could cover your insurance and potentially even make you some money. And while you're renting that car out, you could ride your bike to work because you've chosen a place to live where that's possible. Or maybe you're working from home because then you can ride that bike to the grocery store or to do what other errands you need to do in your daily life. So there's a lot of things that you could do instead of buying that brand new car to save you a lot of money every single month on your transportation, or potentially make you money with that transportation. And the 4th thing that you could do is make sure you never buy any clothes. Well, maybe you should buy a couple clothes. So you really should buy a couple of clothes, but the point here is don't spend money on clothes frivolously. It's really easy to spend a lot of money on clothes. Pants could be $100, shirts $40, $50, and you could buy multiples of them. Shoes can be $100, $200. It's really easy for that money to add up every single month. And if you even looked at our simple Equinox example and investing that money over the course of 40 years, that was $200 a month. Some people could spend $500, $1,000, however many dollars a month on clothes. So instead of spending that money, you could save it and then invest it so that you could have a lot more money over time and then eventually buy all the clothes you want because you're super wealthy. If you look at a number of wealthy people with their clothing habits, they don't have a bunch of extravagant clothing because they've kept those same tactics of not spending frivolously on stupid items that they don't care about and instead investing that excess. And it is not only good for investing, but it's better for making less decisions. If you have less clothes to worry about, you have less decisions to make. And I've kept this same mantra where I have a bit of a uniform that I wear so I can make less decisions. I have pretty similar t-shirts that come in a couple of different colors. I have only one pair of shorts and one pair of pants that I wear so that it depends on the weather, not what I feel like wearing or what decisions I want to make or what people that I don't actually care about that I want to try to impress. And I also have my nice Costco socks that I always buy, as well as a pair of underwear. You know what, I'm not gonna share my underwear, but maybe if you join my Patreon, I will. The last thing that I'm gonna talk about today would be saving money on your housing. And this has catapulted me forward into my wealth building journey and has allowed me to save $1,100 per month. I used to spend $1,100 per month on rent, and then I went down to $0 per month. And if we go back to that example of that $200 per month invested over 40 years, and we change that number to $1,100, that would be $3.5 million over the course of 40 years. That is a crazy amount of money because you've just spent a lot less on your largest expense every single month. So many people get into the trap of getting out of school and living in a luxury apartment because it's the apartment that shows up when they're looking at apartments.com, because these big apartment complexes have put their ads to the top because they've paid for it so that more eyes will get on it. No fault of your own, it's just what you thought you were supposed to do. Instead, what I did after realizing that this luxury apartment complex was the wrong place to live, I decided to house hack. And if you're interested in learning more about that, check out the video up here or in the description below. Essentially, it has made me $400,000 richer and allowed me to live for free for the last 2 years. And I would highly recommend it. And essentially what you do is buy a house for a low money down loan option, live in it, and then rent out the other bedrooms and units so that your housing is virtually zero, or you're potentially living cash flow positive while in your own house. I think housing is where people make the biggest mistake, thinking that they need more. They live in that nice apartment because they think that they need to live in that nice apartment, even though they spend a lot of time outside of it. And then they buy their first house thinking they need a dream house, and then there's so much excess space, and then they have to pay more for utilities because they have all of this extra rooms, and then they can't keep up with cleaning it, so they have to hire other people to clean it. So not only does the bigger the housing equal the bigger the cost, but there's more room to maintain it, more things that can go wrong, more things that you have to pay for instead of saving and investing that money. So step one of building your wealth and living a life where you're financially free would be saving your money. And it's a really important step. But something that I always like to harp on is that saving is not the only important thing. Know the difference between being cheap and between being frugal. I made some of those mistakes when I was first starting out saving a lot of money so that I could start investing in real estate. Don't ruin relationships just because you want to save a couple of bucks. $50 isn't going to be a crazy amount of money if you're comparing it to a lifetime friendship or a lifetime relationship. So make sure you know what the difference is between being cheap and between being frugal, and you know the difference between the friends who are accepting the journey that you're trying to take and those who are not. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video and you got some inspiration and some ideas towards what you could do to save your money so that you could start investing and start building your wealth today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends so more people know how to start saving their money so they can also build their wealth. Thanks again for watching and hope to see you guys next time.